You think nobody notices when you break your own back for others? Someone is always watching. Every night, when the winter wind cut through Oak Creek, Ohio, 26-year-old Clara Miller came home grease-stained and running on empty. She was the only female mechanic at Miller's roadside garage, pulling 12-hour shifts in the cold. Her hands were bruised. Her back ached constantly. Her phone never stopped buzzing with medical bills she couldn't pay. 4 years ago, a car accident took her parents, and just like that, 22-year-old Clara became the only parent her little sister had left. Lily was 8. She had nerve damage in her inner ear, and without a specialized surgery, she'd lose her hearing completely within 6 months. The procedure cost $25,000, an impossible number on $14 an hour. Clara skipped meals, wore the same worn-out coat for 2 winters straight, and dropped every spare dollar into a rusty lockbox under her bed. She'd saved $4,000. The clock was running out. Still, she never complained, never let it harden her. Every evening around 6, an old man named Arthur rattled into the garage in a beat-up '94 Ford pickup. 79 years old, faded flannel jacket, smelled like sawdust and pipe tobacco. People assumed he was broke. He lived alone in a small cabin, kept to himself, and spent hours parked on a wooden stool in the corner, just watching Clara work. Whenever his truck needed fixing, she never charged him. She'd hand him hot cocoa and say, "Save your money, Mr. Arthur. Your company's payment enough." He'd nod, eyes soft, and murmur, "You're a special soul, Clara. Don't let this world dim your light." Then, on a freezing Thursday night in the middle of a blinding snowstorm, everything cracked. A wealthy developer named Richard pulled up in a sports car, demanding an oil change and tire rotation. He barked at Clara for being slow. Her fingers were stiff from the cold. When she finished, flawlessly, he threw a crumpled 20 on the concrete and sped off without paying the rest of the $90 bill. Clara dropped to her knees in the wet and cold, picking up the bill with shaking hands. She was $30 short for rent. Her body was spent. For the first time in years, she let herself feel defeated. Arthur, sitting quietly in the shadows, stood and walked over. He set her wrench gently on the bench, handed her a dry handkerchief, and said, "A diamond is made under pressure, young lady. Don't forget how bright you shine." Then he walked out into the snow. 10 minutes later, Clara noticed something sitting on Arthur's stool, a leather folder tied with red twine. She called his name into the storm. No answer. He was gone. Inside the folder was a cashier's check made out to the Children's Hospital for $30,000. Beneath it, a sealed envelope with her name in dark, careful ink. She opened it with trembling hands. "Dear Clara, 50 years ago, I built a manufacturing company from nothing. Along the way, I surrounded myself with people who only wanted my money. When my wife died 5 years ago, I came here to disappear, to see if real kindness still existed in this world. Dressed down so no one would look twice at me. For 8 months, I watched you work yourself raw for your sister. I watched you treat a forgotten old man like family when the rest of this town treated me like I was invisible. This check covers Lily's surgery, in full. And I've done one more thing. I bought Miller's garage. The deed is already in your name. You own it outright now. You've carried the weight of this world long enough, Clara. Let your kindness carry you home." Clara sank to the concrete floor, the letter pressed against her chest, sobbing, not from exhaustion, but from something she hadn't let herself feel in years: relief. Lily had her surgery 3 weeks later. She heard her sister's voice clearly for the first time in months. She cried right along with her. Arthur never came back to the garage, but Clara kept his stool exactly where it was, right in the corner, just in case. Because sometimes the smallest kindness you give away without expecting anything back is the very thing that comes home to save you.